Let's see how close I got this. Oh, there it is. Holy crap. It's right there. Let me see how to do this. I brought a hand truck. Just gonna pull up right here and try and get this. Have to do it just as quick as I can. I don't want to block the car wash there. Oh, great. Oh. The only reason I'm getting this is because I have another one. Oh, this is not the same. This is not the same. And yes, some of the tubes are missing. Okay, I gotta just get it. It's on a street with a bunch of abandoned houses. These don't look abandoned to me. Maybe that is. Yeah, those are abandoned. These are, something's up with these. Here's the deal. If the CRT in this Hoffman is no good, it's going straight into the dumpster. If the CRT is usable, we'll resurrect it. I have a feeling this might have gone to air. Yeah, it is actually glowing, and that's, you know, these metal cone CRTs, they like to go to air. So, and it is actually producing a little bit of emission, so this might be resurrectable. Okay, this is marginally acceptable. This will produce a picture. So we'll have to resurrect this thing. Have to find a schematic for it because I don't know what tubes are missing there. I have no idea what those are. The homeless have been using this the same way a dog uses a hydrant, so it kind of stinks. It's been the local pissing post. So yeah, it's definitely not restoration, at least not for me. Turn it off. Baby boomer. All right, we're going to resurrect the Hoffman street find homeless piss post set, AM FM radio, like I believe it's AM FM. It is AM FM, and easy vision lens. And what a beautifully built, no expense spared set this is, with all of the brass plates that are screwed on. This was a very gorgeous set, and the objective of a resurrection is just to make it work again. It's probably promptly going to go in the dump, except the CRT. I'm gonna keep the CRT because I have another one of these that has a weak CRT but is in decent shape. If you look at the condition of the speaker there, you can see how bad it is. So the first thing we need to do to resurrect this is find a schematic on it. And the model and chassis number are completely illegible. There's the chassis, who knows. So I've already October 1948, right? 1940 or 1946. Anyway, I believe I identified this chassis because we're missing, somebody pulled, it looks like, at least 4 tubes out of this. So I believe I found it in the Riders Volume 7. I believe this is it right here. 153 is a 28 tube TV receiver. The high voltage and deflection circuits are specially designed to operate the 19-inch picture tube. I'm not going to read the whole description. Anyway, that's a chassis 153. And if we look here, it could be 153 or 157. I don't know. I can't really tell. There is a 157, but they look a little different. They're a rectangular tube set. I think it's a 153. Okay, this one's a little different because this one has the tuning gang up there for the AM/FM radio. Mine has a power amplifier down here in the bottom, and I don't know if maybe someone removed that. Okay, I was reading through this and it says that the chassis are pretty much the same, except you could add an AM/FM, a 3-tube. See here, this one with AM/FM tuner. So the only thing that's important right now is all these tube layouts are the same. So I'm going to write down on the chassis what tubes are missing. Okay, so that was the right thing in there. So we're missing 2 5U4s, which are in parallel. I can just make a solid state replacement for those for resurrection and testing purposes. And then I need 2 6SN7s. So on this one, it looks like maybe someone who knew what they were doing yanked the tubes. Gotta love this huge, soft asbestos sheet. Look at the size of this thing. That is pure cancer right there, soft asbestos. Should probably get that wet and get it out of there. Looks like someone cut the high voltage wire and the chassis is loose. Look at those can-dome resistors. Holy crap. Look at the size of those can-dome resistors. Look at all of the capacitors in this. Layers and layers of crappy paper capacitors. And bumblebees. God, that transformer looks kind of burnt. That transformer there looks kind of baked also. Wow. So this is probably audio output right here, or a choke. Okay, this must be audio output. Okay. So this looks like it's the audio output transformer, and it connects to these wires which go to here. So this must be the speaker connection. Okay. That looks bodged in there. I guess that was may have been replaced. And just should take the air compressor to this and blow it out. But like I said, it's a Resurrection. The goal is not to recap it and make it nice, is just to make it play again one last time before it's sacrificed to the copper scrapping gods. Okay, here is, this must have been where the AM loop antenna hooked up. This is the 3-tube AM FM tuner. Okay, what I'm interested in is this high voltage lead they cut. Why you would cut this? It's no problem. I have plenty of wire off of where this thing is hacked up. Boy, that's Clinky Dinkler. That's Tukey Kluker. Look at that. Banana slicer. This is the boring observation part of our show. So here's the slide for the, and that's frozen. See, this is the audio output tube, the 6J. Ooh. Boy, this has got some hours on it. Look at the burn off there. That's those dots are from filament evaporation. That's how many hours are on. That's a 6SN7 baked. So this thing's got some hours on it. Yeah, what's up with all these capacitors? Just always have to feature the dead spiders, you know. So this capacitor looks like it's been replaced. You can see the solder, the hacked solder job. And maybe this one too. Look at that right there. This thing has definitely had its share of work done on it. This capacitor's definitely been replaced. Look at that. This is what you call a very high hour set. This has had a lot of work done on it. That looks like that's been replaced. Or maybe deleted. Wonder what happened there. Boy, that capacitor actually looks like it's wrinkled. Wow. Wonder what this goes to. Or is that my speaker wire? Yeah, that's my speaker wire. Look at the spider eggs inside the wafer switch. Ooh, multi-dead spiders. I hope this is resurrectable. I'd like to see it play again just for the entertainment value of it. There's been a bunch of hacked solders there. This thing has really seen its share of time in the repair shop. Oh, I see. That looks like that was there. I wonder what happened. You can see someone J-hooked it in. There's more hacked repairs right there. More hacked repairs there. More hacked repairs there. maybe hacked is not the right word, I should just say repairs. That almost looks like someone's done something with that whole tube socket. Alright, since our low voltage rectifier tubes are missing anyway, the two 5U4s, I put a test adapter in here. I got this on voltage. There's no reason why I can't apply power, and we should just have filaments if the power transformer is good. By the looks of this thing, it looks like somebody who kind of knew TVs condemned it and put it out on the street because it wasn't working. That's just kind of the feeling I get. It doesn't look like it was working and it died and it was shoved out. It looks like it failed and was looked at. So anyway, we're on watts here. We should have filaments only. So let's see, how do we... Nothing. This should be tuner. This is function, so nothing. We have 0. Okay, the power comes in here. We have 2 paper bombs. And then it looks like the airplane comes up to the power transformer right. Alright, well, I broke this wire off right here. But I follow this down and it looks like it comes over here to the yoke socket. So I must need to have the yoke plugged in. There must be a safety loop here. Alright, let's see what happens if I just bypass the yoke safety loop cut off. It doesn't matter right now because I don't have any B+ because the rectifiers are missing. So as the power transformer continues to self-destruct, or I'm sorry, maybe that's a vertical output transformer. The power transformer is the big, like, 400 watt monster on top. Alright, let's try this again with the yoke cutoff thing bypassed. Here we go, power. Oh, there we go. Got some power flowing and we have filaments glowing. So let's check our transformer secondary. So I think it was 4 and 6. $296 on 4 and $295 on 6. So transformer's good. Looks like we have 73.5 watts and just filaments. Wonder if this is the horizontal output right here. See if we yank that out. Yep. Put it back in. It's working. So it looks like everybody's home here. We have secondary high voltage or low voltage for the B+, and we have filaments. We have 68 watts in filaments. Power factor is 0.89. Check this out. This is the kind of stuff I see and I'm not really even sure what to think. So this is the tuner right here, the 2 tubes, the RF and oscillator mixer tube. And you can see that they originally had shields on them which are missing, and they've been gone so long that the dust accumulation shows that they've been gone a long time. Then you have this capacitor, which has obviously been here forever because of the dust. And you can see that bodged solder there. And then on this side right here, it looks like it was never even soldered on. It was just looped around. So I see stuff like that and I'm not sure what to think. This is probably not a really good resurrection candidate because it's got a lot of hacked repairs. This too. What was this thing recapped in the garage in like 1955? It could have been. There's a lot of hacked repairs. How about this stack of resistors here? What's going on with this? I don't think that's factory. The riders shows that capacitor right there. So I don't know. Did they forget to solder it at the factory, or did someone recap this thing? So sleeping on this overnight, thinking about this, I believe the best way to go about resurrecting this is in a two-part video. In this part will be the acquisition and the analysis, which I've been doing, which is just kind of looking it over, and the radio. I believe we can get the radio to work without powering up any of the high voltage deflection circuits. So we can leave the yoke bypassed, leave the CRT disconnected, and just get the radio to work. And that's what I'm going to do in this video. I've photocopied all the schematics, and I kind of understand now how the system works. It's basically just a separate 3-tube AM/FM tuner that injects its signal into the first audio amp. So this right here, the schematic, which I hope this 6BA7 is good. That's one complex tube. That's both the AM and FM converter. This schematic, what you're looking at here, is this tuner module right here. And what it does is it just comes out and it injects into this tube right here, the first audio tube, the 6AV6, and you can see right there's the schematic for it. Just for safety, I'm going to pop that fuse out. That's the like the damper plate voltage fuse to the horizontal circuit, and I'll pop the 6J5 vertical deflection tube out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, if I have enough WD-40 here left, it's a pretty sad situation. Looks like that needs some medical help for sure. I'm going to hose down this mode switch. This is the AM/FM TV mode. Oh, there we go. Now she's finally squirting. I'm going to hose that down to blow the spider webs out. I'll work it back and forth a couple 100,000 times. It's all loose. So this one is volume and tone. We want to lubricate that one. Channelized dial. Look at how classy. I'm going to keep this brass plate. This is really neat. Look at that, easy vision lenses. So all the way counterclockwise would be TV, and then FM, AM, phono. So we want to go all the way counterclockwise and then back one. So we want to go all the way counterclockwise and then back one. That should be FM. That's FM, AM, phono, and that's TV. And we want to fill these up. Remember, this is, ooh. This thing is a Resurrection, which is just to make it work long enough to be entertaining. That's nice. we're not restoring this. If we were restoring this, if this was a high value target, I would be using my good control cleaner on it. But since this is just a fix and dump, I'm just using WD-40 on it. Wow, these controls are worn out. Look at how much play is in that thing. This thing has a lot of use on it. I'm going to start by making a solid state replacement 5U4 out of this broken tube. First thing I need to do is just gut it out, because I just need the base to put some diodes in. You can see how they parallel two 5U4s here. So what we're going to do is we're going to have two diodes going, one going from 4 to 8 and the other going from 6 to 8. And you can see there, and I marked them with yellow paint marker. Okay, there it is. And you can just Google it. I just used two diodes in series to get the PIV up a little bit and also increase the forward drop. This will also be nice because this gives us easy above chassis access to test points. Here's our solid state 5U4 replacement. I guess we'll find out if I got that right here pretty quick. These two 5U4s are in parallel. All we need to do is pop this into one. I'm sure these diodes will handle much more than the 5U4. However, the 5U4 is kind of a sacrificial item if you get a short. If we have something short, the 5U4 will just blow apart inside. With these, it's going to take the transformer out if it runs for any length of time. So even that being a 400 watt transformer, so probably want to use a bulb, and I don't know about a variac. I don't care about this thing that much to dig a variac out. A little smoke never hurt anybody. A 200 or 300 watt lamp. I think this is a 300, and I simply put it in series with that yoke socket AC line bypass. So basically this is in series with the AC line. I pulled the rectifier back out, 66 watts. We're not going to damage anything with a 300 watt lamp and a 400 watt transformer, or 300. That's a pretty big transformer. That's the FM radio light. If I click it back one, that goes to TV, which you can see there, that works. So we're definitely on FM. That should be AM, and that should be phono. So we'll go to FM, and here we go. I got a speaker hooked up. Safety first, right? Oh yeah. Getting dimmer. It's dropping. That would have to be capacitors reforming. There's nothing else that's going to drop like that. Trying to hear if there's anything coming out of the speaker. A slight hum. This is the audio output tube right here. Wow, not much current draw, not much wattage draw there. I unplug it. Seems to affect it about 2 watts. That seems way too low. I wonder where the first... Is this a 6AV6? Yes. Yeah, I would have been real surprised if this worked. And the AM loop antenna is missing. This is where the AM loop antenna connected and was ripped out. Let's do some basic voltage checks here. Let's see what our 246 volts B plus. Okay. Let's do some basic voltage checks here with the test adapter. Sorry, I'm not using a tripod on this video. So 3 and 4 should both be around 265 volts. So see, 3, 217, but we still have our light bulb there. And 4, 228. That's decent. Let's take a look at 5. It should be 0. So let's see, 5. So tell us if our capacitor is leaky. It's 0.6. It's a little leaky, but not real bad. And 7. No, wait. 5. That's 8. Let's try 8. 8's our cathode, which is 13 volts, which is probably on the high side, but again, this capacitor here is probably a little leaky. And because I'm getting a pop there, I'm going to assume the audio output transformer is not bad. So I should check what this tube is doing. Let me get a test adapter for it. Plate's like 76 volts. I wanted to check 7, 1, and 2. Ooh, I hear noise. Pin 1 is 0.3. Okay, and 2 is going to be ground. So I heard a little noise when I touched there. And no, it wasn't the air pane. Yeah. So there's definitely amplification. Well, that's weird. I'm getting a very low oscillation. And I'm smelling something burning, which is kind of cool. This is a little bit of a trip. The wattage is just jumping all over the place. Something is shorting out. It was just down to 112, and now it's back up to 134. And something is burning. I smell something burning. Okay, the burning smell stopped and something went open. We're down to 100 watts now, which is barely above the filaments. We now have 343 volts on the plate of the audio output. We have 0 on here. So our 140 volts went away. And I wonder if one of these big can domes went open. You know, like I said, I smelled something and it wasn't something I'd smell. It's not a common smell. So where's this 140 volts come from? Okay, we got a funky voltage divider here, which is probably these can dome resistors. Yeah, this one here had to go open. We got 389 volts there, and we have 0 volts there. So this stupid thing must have gone open. Okay, what we'll do is we'll adjust this big pot up to 1650. It's pretty close. Okay, this is 140 volts, and I think we got a bad capacitor that's shorting. See what that's doing? And that burning smell is back. This is getting warm, but not hot. This is where I wish I had my FLIR, because I could just look at this and see what was hot, but it died, and I'm waiting to see if they will warranty it. It's almost worth just putting this on hold, because that thing as a piece of diagnostic equipment is so effective. So now we got 140 volts. Yeah, we got a bad capacitor here. Hopefully it just kind of blows open and leaves us alone. Oh, crap, it looks like we got a broken wire right there. That one's okay, but this wire here is broken. Yeah, the gloves will protect against 300 volts. They won't protect against 4,000, but they'll crackle pony master charge. Crap, I see it. It's arcing inside this IF can. I just saw it. It was arcing right inside that IF can. It's silver mica disease, and it's in this IF can. And of course it's not going to do it now for the camera, but I could see it right through that little hole right there. So we definitely got silver mica disease, and I wish you had been able to see that on camera. Let's see if this looks like it's for the FM. Let's see. Well, there we go. Well, it's receiving something. It's sort of been resurrected. So the silver mica disease in the AM transformer there is so bad it blew the can dome resistor out. I guess it's a capacitor, but not a capacitor like we think. Now, where's the volume at, though? It should be a lot hotter than this. Ooh, that got the party started. Why do that? It's got to be in this stupid can here, and that's shorted back out. You can hear it. Carbon tracking. I got the speaker disconnected, and you can hear it popping. So there's good sensitivity. There's just not enough volume. So do you have something wrong up here in the audio stage? It could be in the IF too. And try a different vacuum bulb in there, and that's not it. Reliable Selectron tubes. Kind of bargain basement junk. Yeah, that's got to be for AM. These have got to be the FM down here. This is a no-no, but who cares? It's a Resurrection set. It's going in the recycle bin. I wish I could have caught that thing on camera arcing and smoking coming out of that little hole. It'd be interesting to get a loop antenna on this. Get a loop antenna on this and see if it does anything. You know, if I put this on phono, that's a phono input on the back right there. Seems like there's more than enough gain. So I'm going to say that the lack of volume here is due to the IF transformers. Okay. How about if we borrow the antenna off this destroyed K part? Can't beat a little Zeppelin when you're working on an old arcing IF transformer, Hoffman console stereo. Okay, it's getting KNX. Does that qualify as being alive on AM? Baby. It's hard to do one-handed. Okay, can't do it one-handed. Come on. East.
Our staff are working tirelessly to get the care to people.
Hey, full announcement.
Here is.
Yeah, it's working. It's just no sensitivity because the IF transformer's bad. And that's probably not the right antenna. It's probably close, but not the right antenna. Yeah, this is a typical case of silver mica disease, which is where the capacitors that are integrated into the IF cans fail. This is exactly what they do. They arc inside, they crackle and thunderstorm. Good thing is it sounds like the TV tuner is working. At least on some channels. Get a little something and scrub scrub all these off. Okay, it'd be nice to get channel 6. I cleaned... Who knows where channel 6 is? It is picking up channel 6. I think these crusty IF transformers are arcing all the time. I might have to get the TV to work. I might have to cut the power to this thing. Very quiet. But it is working. So this right here, T2, is a transformer that's arcing inside. And I was considering pulling it out of there and opening it up and having a look. But you can see it is really soldered in there. I mean, I can get it out. And I'm thinking about it. Probably just go ahead and take some pictures and cut everything away from it. Because it's charcoal filtered jewel biscuit. All I can say is this was never designed to be serviced. This was never designed to come apart. Let's get this open and see what it looks like. So there are the mica capacitors right there in that plastic. And that's right where it was arcing. And you can see it's burnt. Right down in there. Wow, so it was arcing. It was arcing across between the two mica capacitors. I'm just going to cut them out. Yeah, I just cut them all out with a pair of dikes. They're gone. That absolutely ruined it. Was that an FM or was that I think that's an AM. I mean, I did the quickest, most botched job I could, but... Alright, well somehow in doing this, maybe because I don't have the capacitors, in fact I probably do need the capacitors now that I think about it in order for the FM to work. Let me think about this for a minute. Okay, I tacked a couple 120s across there.
I grew up in Newhall. August was my rival. I went to Hart High, but tonight we're all Centurion.
15-year-old Gracie M. Knoll, 14-year-old Dominic Blackwell have been identified as the victims who were fatally shot. 2 other girls expected to be released from the hospital in the next few days. The 16-year-old shooter died yesterday from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now that the Saugus High School shooter is dead, we may never know what motivated him to go on that killing spree, but there may have been some clues. Collateral damage.
Most school shooters are despondent or even actively suicidal when they carry out their school shooting. Some of them plan to kill themselves at the end. Some of them are hoping for a suicide by cop.
Marissa Randazzo says investigations into school shooters tend to turn up a similar pattern.
The vast majority of school shooters.
이유가 뭐? 6주년이잖아요. 6주년에 또 저희들이.
So I did this the wrong way. What I should have done is I should have left the cores. That screw I just screwed all the way in. That's how far off my capacitors are. If I had gotten the right value capacitors, there would have been very little adjustment. But you see I've driven that thing all the way in to compensate for having the wrong capacitors. I should have put variable capacitors across the bottom, adjusted the variable capacitors to peak it, and then measured the variable capacitors and put fixed capacitors of that value in its place. I have videos on the right way to do silver mica, but I just stuck, because this is just a Resurrection, I just stuck two 120s there, and you see how far off they were.
Red flag warnings.
Okay.
We'll check that and all the rest of traffic with Manny Pacheco coming up in about 4 minutes. It's 12:11. I'm Tim Smith, person.
There's AM working.
Recently paid the government.
By the way, we're still on the light bulb through all of this, using the light bulb as a safety in case something goes wrong. So that's 1260 AM, our music oldies station. If it picks that up, it's working decent on AM.
People, you are.
I bypass the light bulb, which gives us quite a bit more filament heat, which cranks these old tubes up a little bit better, gives them a little bit more gain.
Right. But it should be, but it was easy.
Black Friday ever.
November.com/Woody.
You know who really loves fresh food? Amateur chefs, barbecuers, schmort. We're a newsprint.
On the old school tip.
Oh yeah.
That's how it comes.
Now on the Lifestyles Unlimited is the real estate investor education.
One woman. So.
Okay, so there's the AM FM. Let's see what the TV sounds like on. I shouldn't do that. I have all the tubes pulled out. Let me see.
Putting together, but we still don't have.
Dreamy.
I have a feeling we have silver mica disease in the TV IF too. Hear the crackling?
Offers end January 2nd. The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event.
Monthly lease payment is available only to qualify.
Bangkok, Oriental Sitting in the city, don't know what the city is getting. Creme de la creme of the chess world in a show with everything but
Okay, that's the AM/FM tuner resurrected on the Hoffman. We'll do the television in part 2, which should be even more exciting. So what happened here? Well, the main thing was we had a broken wire down here. We had silver mica disease in all of these cans, but really bad in that one, so I hollowed it out. I put two 120s, which were the wrong value. We could tell that by how far I had to crank that core in to compensate for it. That thing arcing inside blew this can dome resistor out right here. I substituted in a big variable resistor in place of it. So far, and we're hearing a little bit of channel 6 action on this over the air, which is a good thing. So in part 2, we'll try and get the TV working. No promises there. Just look at all these capacitors. Yes, it does need those capacitors across the AM IF coil for the FM to work.